I'm really excited to have with us one of the few brands. We've been talking about all this activity kind of going on under the radar right now. We heard from Paul. One of the brands that's been up front and said, yes, we have applied for our own top-level domain on our brand name, and that is Deloitte. And with us from Deloitte is Bill Barrett, who's been leading this initiative for them, the whole plan for .Deloitte and what it's going to be. So thanks for joining us, Bill.
Thanks for having me. I'm happy to be here. It's certainly a topic I've been looking at for the last few years since I heard about it. I guess it was around late 2007 or so when someone brought it to our attention that it was something we might want to consider. Kind of went dormant for a while as this process was being worked through with ICANN, but we're on the move here. Just to clarify, we haven't applied yet.
Right, you can't apply until
January 12th, I believe. But we're really, moving fast through our assessment, which, frankly, we've been spending a lot more time on our assessment than I think most people, mainly because we benefit of having some internal folks in our enterprise risk group out of Belgium who are experts on this and brought this to our attention. So. But it's, we've been going through the evaluation process and we're, making progress towards our goal.
So what's been that process? I mean, who's been, I guess, first question you mentioned, who's been involved? Did this come up initially from a legal department or from a digital department, IT department, from marketing?
Yeah, it actually, like I mentioned, we have a practice that focuses, it's actually a legal practice that focuses on this and does some work with ICANN. And said, hey, we think there might be an opportunity. Let's talk about brand opportunities. So actually, our global head of brand was the first person to kind of take a look at it, and then I got involved and said, let's explore it a little bit more. But it's been a complete cross-functional group that have been kind of going through this process. Everyone from our legal and risk folks to our brand, our knowledge management people, certainly our IT people. Our clients and business development folks. So we've kind of brought in a cross-functional group to kind of look at the opportunities.
Because really it's a global issue that affects all different aspects of the organization potentially in terms of both external constituents and internal ones.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not something that we can say just the digital marketing group is considering as an opportunity. This is something that will impact the entire organization.
So what have been the factors, as we were talking, broadly, Carl was talking about the risks and the benefits. What's that been for Deloitte? I mean, what have you looked at as on those two sides? What are the benefits that are driving this consideration, and what are the risks you've been, having to consider in a way?
Sure. Our initial first cut at this was, okay, there's a great brand opportunity to make ourselves more distinctive in the marketplace.
Deloitte has always been known as sort of forward-thinking, innovative within its category.
It aligns well with our sort of brand properties of being anticipatory, always one step ahead in our thinking, innovative, and sort of a leader in our space. So we felt this was a great opportunity to help us demonstrate that through a GTLD. But as we started to evaluate it, and I learned more about it, discovered it's much more beyond just that initial, sort of brand packaging of Deloitte. It's all the things that were mentioned by the previous speakers. I mean, there's security aspects that certainly make some of our internal IT folks kind of perk up a little bit and say, oh, that's interesting how we might be able to handle making sure our website's more authentic so our clients who come here are assured it's the real Deloitte. There's definitely opportunities for us to kind of rethink the way we use the internet in our communications. It's very difficult. We're always creating what we call friendly URLs, marketing URLs, to try to simplify the long URLs that come out of our content management systems that feed our websites. And it's very, very awkward, and it's not a great user experience. So we thought
trying to point the user to a particular landing page on a topic or event or something like that.
Simplifying the way we do business with our folks out there, and anything we can do to simplify that experience is a plus. So, and then there's obviously tons of opportunities that we can't even anticipate right now. We're talking about a 5-year window or 7-year window. As I think you mentioned, social networking was not really big 5 years ago, or was just on the beginning stages. Right now, we can't really anticipate what the benefit would be, but having ownership and control over that allows us to start to look at some creative ways to do some things different. And there are other things we're talking about internally that I certainly can't disclose here right now, but just high level, it does open up a lot of different doors for us.
What about the global issue? I know that came up. Certainly Deloitte is a global company. You've had, domains with different country extensions, as I understand it. Is that an opportunity that you guys see to have, all of the different national or regional web homes or websites to be under one top-level domain?
Absolutely. It does help us unify the brand, which is important for us as Deloitte becomes more global. Yes, we have global presence, but doesn't mean we completely seem that global to everyone. By having a more unified experience, it certainly helps us get in that direction. And then it also allows us to recognize local market needs by having the Chinese simplified extension. That can be really helpful.
Using the Chinese characters.
Yeah, I mean, it's just recognizing that while we may be a global organization, local market culture is really critical to our success as well.
Yeah, and that's an issue that so many global brands, whatever your business is, have to deal with and try to optimize. Is particularly on the web, you're simultaneously global. Anything that's on the web is visible anywhere, but also there are all these local communities. So even we see that nowadays in Facebook management. It's an emerging best practice that if you're a global brand, you don't just want to have one page. You want to have these more localized presences within it because it allows you, like the Chinese character example, to have a presence that's more suited to that particular audience and what you're offering them.
Agreed.
What about your clients? Obviously, they come to you with a lot of strategic questions about their business and consulting. Are they also asking Deloitte now? Do you have anyone within Deloitte who's sort of advising on this question specifically?
Yeah, as I mentioned earlier, we worked with a team out of Deloitte, Belgium. And Frank, just to be clear, I'm part of the global organization. We don't actually provide services, but we sort of are the glue and the brand that support the rest of the network. But where we do have practice professionals, we do have folks that are advising clients on this and helping them with the application process and certainly weighing the risks and the rewards with them so they can make an informed decision. And there's quite a bit of activity that is starting to happen. Although, it's getting closer to that time frame, so I think people need to get on the move for this.